It's your boy Kulesto with another LSW1 PC setup tutorial, and today we're going to be fixing the diagonal walking issue that most players will face when setting up the game for the first time. This fix is going to be achieved through Windows Calibration, so it should be applicable to any controller using any remapping software, or no remapping software at all if your controller is already natively compatible. Before we start, I'll give a brief overview of why this issue happens and how we're going to fix it. The basic problem is that LSW1 expects square-gated analog inputs, but the vast majority of modern controllers are circular-gated. This causes issues when trying to make diagonal inputs, as the game expects analog values our stick can't physically reach. By adjusting our stick's calibration, we can create a square gate bounded within our stick, which we can reach all values of. We'll be using a tool known as DXTweak2 to achieve this. It was originally intended for adjusting dead zones and sensitivity for sim racing gear, like wheels or pedals, but we'll be using it to edit our controller's Windows calibration directly. DXTweak is not a remapping software like Steam Input or X360 CE, so you don't need to run it while playing the game. You're just going to use it one time to set your calibration, and then you're done. Once you've opened DXTweak, the first thing you need to do is select your controller, which might be slightly annoying if you have a lot of them, because there's no drop-down. Once you've found your controller, you need to note a couple of things about your controller. The first is which two axes your stick controls. So in my case, that's the X and Y axes. The other thing you need to note is the raw range of your stick, and for me, these axes go from 0 to 255. Now what we need to do is find the crossover between these two axes. So as you can see, as I circle between left and up, there is a point in the middle here where both axes are reading the same value, and that happens at a perfect diagonal. For my controller, that happens at 32. That 32 is going to be what we adjust our minimum and maximum range by. So now that we've found our crossover, we're going to come here to the right and select the y-axis first. We're going to set the minimum to that crossover value that we found, in my case 32, and then we're going to subtract that crossover value from the maximum. So in my case that would give me 223. Come down here and click apply, then make sure you also make these changes to the second axis. And now that we've applied changes to both axes, if I press my stick into the up left notch, you'll see that while the raw readout is still above 0 by quite a bit, the value column is showing 0 for both. And this value column is what Windows is sending to any application which is requesting input. Now to make sure that we've done this correctly, we're going to make sure that we can hit all four corners. So here we have min-min. Here's min-max, here's max-max, and here's max-min. So as you can see, I've correctly set this so that I can hit all values. And if we load back into the game now, you can see that I can move in all directions at max speed with no issue. Before we finish, I'll point out something else that this tool could be useful for. What would happen if we adjusted our range by more than the crossover value we found? Well, what it would basically do is give us a smaller square gate within our stick, and the outside corners of that gate would effectively give you GameCube notches on any controller, so that any input within the purple shaded region will give you a perfect diagonal input. I'm not sure how useful people who don't play on GameCube already would find that, but it is interesting and possible.